The secret to a successful business? It's all in picking the right niche. Let me show you how. Hi, I'm Michelle, mama of four, wife, and entrepreneur. I've grown a bookkeeping business from absolutely nothing to having multiple employees, as well as a marketing agency from nothing to having multiple subcontractors. And now I help moms just like you bring home an extra $1,000 every single month or more without sacrificing family time. And in today's video, we're going to pick that perfect niche so that you can be successful in your business ventures. So the framework we're going to go over today is what I like to call the resume framework, where essentially you create a resume based around your skills, your experiences, and your passions. So, tip number one, you're going to write down all of your skills. These are things that you know how to do, things that you're very good at, things that you can do more than the average person. Because again, keep in mind, you're solving a problem for somebody else. So, you don't have to be the biggest expert in something. All you have to do is solve the problem, which means you just have to be better than the average person. Tip number two is writing down your experiences. And I think that that's a really important one because sometimes we may have done a job years and years and years ago that can come in handy now. So writing down all your different experiences, the different jobs that you've held, different things that you've done, that can really lend a hand in figuring out where your niche should lie. Tip number three is writing down your passions. And this is pretty important because when we're trying to figure out what niche to go into, yeah, you want to be good at it. Yeah, you want to be able to provide the value that you need to provide to make money and do a good job and grow a successful business. But it's also important that you enjoy what you're doing because otherwise you're going to get burnt out. The moment that work feels like work, it's really hard to be consistent and committed to it. And when you're building your own business, it's already harder than just going to work and doing the job and doing your list of tasks that your boss gives you, right? So you want to make sure that what you're going into, you're passionate about and that you enjoy doing so that when the going gets tough, you can keep going. Tip number four is writing down the types of people that you want to work with. A general rule of thumb is if you're not super sure who you want to work with, think of yourself 3 years ago, right? You want to think of something that you can actually relate to and people that you enjoy working with and spending time with. And that's really important because these are the people that you're going to be spending a lot of time with as you work with your clients. So coming up with the types of people that you want to work with, the types of people that you want to get to know and do all of these things with is really important so that you're not sitting there and working for a lot of people that you don't feel any connection to, that you don't feel any kinship to, that you have a hard time relating to. It's going to be really hard to sell to people that you don't understand. It's going to be really hard to fulfill the jobs that they want you to fulfill if you don't understand. And it's also going to be really hard to keep doing the same thing in and out day after day if you don't like working with those types of people. Tip number five is compile all of this data together and figure out where the overlap is. What are things that you're very skilled in? What are things that you have experience in? And what are your passions? Figure out where all of those things intersect. And that's where you want to put your niche, right? And so in my life and in my experience, I have done a whole lot of things in my career. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, I had a bookkeeping business that I grew. I had a marketing business that I grew. So I understand the fundamentals of business. I've worked with several businesses over the course of the past, 5 years, hundreds of businesses at this point. And I've talked to lots of business owners. I understand their struggles. I'm a mom. That's my skill set. That's my passion. I understand those unique struggles. I've been able to dive down deep into all of this. I understand the fundamentals of business. I understand bookkeeping, which is the fundamentals of business in a way. I understand marketing, which is a huge component of business that a lot of people struggle with. And I understand all those different components. And so for me, being a coach to moms to help them overcome those unique struggles and create successful businesses so that they can bring in the money that they want to bring in, it was kind of a no-brainer. So when you're looking at these things, really look at all of those different components, figure out where they intersect, where they work together, and what's going to give you the best bang for your buck when it comes to actually creating your business. Keep in mind, you want to have good reputation, you want to have good credibility. And so the things that you want to look for is, do I have experience in this field or experience that's going to lend itself to this field, right? Things that I can call upon and say, hey, I did this and this. That's why you can trust me and work with me. You want to look at things that you're highly knowledgeable in, right? Or things that you're very skilled in, because those are the things that you're going to be doing in your business. And you want to make sure you can do a good job for your customers. You want to make sure that you enjoy doing it, that you relate to the people that you're going to be working with. These are all really important components of running a business. And when you're developing that niche, a lot of people get really hung up on what's the niche I want to work with, right? What's the industry I want to work with? What are the types of people I want to work with? What are the types of problems I want to solve? How specific do I want to get? And what I have found is the more specific you get, a lot of times the better, right? Because then you become a specialist in a field. However, if you don't have a specific niche that's obvious, it could work out to just be a generalist in the beginning, see what kind of opportunities come up and who you end up working with, figure out who you enjoy working with the most, figure out what types of jobs you enjoy doing the most. Maybe you are going to be opening up a marketing agency and you figure out, I really love working with bookkeepers, or I really love working with coaches or virtual assistants, then you specialize in that. So you can always niche down later. It's hard to niche and then become general later. So I always say, if you're not sure what you want to niche into, start off generalized. You can always niche down later when it becomes more obvious. And if you need any help coming up with your niche, go ahead and hit that link in the description below. You can go ahead and talk directly with me every single Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm happy to help you figure it out.